Aside him scoring a goal,
Cosmos is not smiling.
Well, aside him scoring a goal, his final balls, I felt he was dribbling too much. I felt it wasn't, especially in the first half, wasn't particularly playing with the team. He was trying very hard to impress. I felt there are some balls that he was supposed to have passed, and he was just dribbling himself and the Nigerians. So, for me, if you ask me, I'm going to give him a 6.
Give him a 6, Osasokoro.
I don't know. I feel the coaches know more than I do, but Osas, to me, I don't know. If you compare him with Prince Agre, both guys played on the flanks. Agre was more inventive.
That's right.
That's the difference for me. I think he looks to be a player that will be more suited to central midfield. Just my opinion. I'm speaking my thoughts out loud. I think he might be better suited to central midfield. And maybe that explains some of the things. Cosmos, being indecisive, somebody that likes just to play a 1-2, ball retention and all that. Not somebody who run at two defenders, cross the ball. Some of the things we saw Agre do, pull out, send defenders, take them out nice and easy, then lay the pass. He didn't do that, but you see, if you score in a game, give an assist. I mean, that covers all the things that you didn't do well.
So is that a 7 or 8?
He gets a 7.
He gets a 7.
But he could work on those things that we pointed out.
I want you to rate Chisom Chikatara if you're watching us wherever you're watching sports tonight on Channels TV. Rate Chisom Chikatara. So what we've done is we've rated a goalkeeper, a player in the defense line, a midfielder. Now let's go to the forward. But I'm not going to let these guys talk about Chisom Chikatara. I want you to talk about Chisom Chikatara. Well, let's set the record straight. It wasn't Zimbabwe that won that game, it was Zambia. Zambia won, Zimbabwe 0. Isaac Chance's goal made the difference. So we want to set the record straight. So now let's just quickly talk about one forward player, Prince Agre.
Prince Agre, for me, yes, it was more inventive when it comes to his runs and all that. But then I felt that his dribbles, yes, we are spot on, but at the same time, when you do something too much, it could affect. And in the first half, he actually did affect. I mean, going forward, his final balls on the run of play were particularly not too spot on. But then in the second half, I think it was spoken to. It was good as well.
Rate him over 10.
Assists.
Rate him over 10. Rate him over 10.
For me, I'll give him a 7.
A 7.
Not because it wasn't, not because of the 2 assists, no, but because he tried as much as possible to play for the team in the second half, unlike the first half. So I'm going to give him a 7.
That's right, Yami?
I guess more than a 7.
I think so too.
I'll do as much as give him a 9. That was how good I felt he was on the night. And
very adventurous.
Everything good everything good that happened to the Nigerian team on the day happened because of him, happened because of the things that he did. Yes, you could say those balls you expect, but you see sometimes when you play players who are forwards, not really wingers, some players who feel I could get into the box, I could score. Those kind of players really most of the time do not deliver crosses. Most time they try to walk their way into the box and deliver those. And some of those assists that he gave. But aside that, he was able to draw out the defenders. That's key. True. It reminds me of what Victor Moses did for us in the 2013 Nations Cup. It was just everyone was just taking them out. And I would love him to be more adventurous, adventurous, but a bit sensible. I would love him to not just stay on the left flank, just confuse everybody as much as possible. Go to the right. Just I hope he has the freedom to drift a little. I feel we're going to benefit more if he's able to drift. He just confuses the defenders.
Okay, that's it. So that's the update from the African Nations Championship, and we're dissecting the performances of Team Nigeria in that game over Nigeria. Remember, it was a 4-1 victory over for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Let's go on a break now. When we come back, Gianni Infantino says if you vote for him as FIFA's president, he's going to give us a regional World Cup. What is he talking about? And of course, is a 4-time Olympic gold medalist, Michael Johnson, says what we're seeing in athletics is worse than what we're seeing in football. We'll talk about it when we come back. Stay. Welcome back. You're still watching Sports Tonight. So we're broadcasting live from Channels TV Sports Center in Lagos, Nigeria. I want you to talk to us as regards all that we've been talking about on the show on Twitter, or Channels_Sports, and on Facebook, or Channels-Sports. I'll come to you now. We've been hearing so much about FIFA lately. Is either somebody is getting an arrest or someone is getting suspended, and then we're not hearing so much about the elections, but the talks are coming out now. Infantino says, vote for me, I'll bring the regional World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, that's the experience. Actually, I thought you were going to bring up Prince Ali. There's a secret pact between Asia and CAF, and he has asked FIFA to investigate that. I think that's even interesting for me, because if you look at that, that is 109 votes. If there's truly a pact, then we will know who the president. It might just be Al Khalifa.
Wow.
But this is interesting. They're trying to give us the experience that Europe will have in 2020. They're going to spread the Euro 2020, 13 countries, 13 different cities will host the Euro 2020. And because they've done it in Europe, it's not easy for them to say, look, let's have a regional World Cup. Let's not have situations where the cost of hosting the World Cup would be one country will just bear all the costs. Let's have a regional World Cup. And when we have that, any confederation that hosts a World Cup, you have to wait for 2 editions.
Okay.
So it's not as if you just bid
and you win again.
Wait for. If Europe does it this time, you're gonna have to wait for 2. I mean, that's his proposal. And you know, we need to sit down and let it sink in before we begin to say whether it's a good idea, it's a bad idea. But I think the template is what is going to happen. Euro 2020. You know, the 2016 is going to be this year, France. So across all the major cities in Europe is where they're going to have that. So maybe that's what they're looking at. Whether or not it's going to work on a global stage, we'll have to wait and see.
You know what? It's not strange. I mean, when Nigeria, well, Chief Segun Odegbami, when he was trying as much as possible to bid for the World Cup for Nigeria, he actually said it like a West African kind of World Cup too. Yes, that was, if it had happened at that time, that would have been the first time it happened. Now, even before Europe could even think of a regional World Cup, Chief Segun Odegbami felt that, yes, we can do it in West Africa. And with Nigeria being the main host, yeah. So if it happens, if it becomes the president, let's see whether it's going to work. We're not saying that, well, we have not seen it work anyway.
Yeah.
In 2020, let's see whether it will work in Europe, where we have 13 cities trying to host the Euro 2020. Now, will it happen for the World Cup? Because this is a World Cup. This is not just a continental competition. This is the World Cup. So if it's going to happen like that, let's just see whether it works. Then for what he said concerning the path between CAF and Asia, that is huge already, because even Issa Hayatou has stepped down as the president of CAF to focus on FIFA, so that it will not be as if there's a coloring in his perception concerning the situation. That is even huge. And I like the fact that these things are coming up.
That's right.
The election is coming up in February.
Yeah?
Yes, so let these things come up so that
There
we
are all
talk about
talks.
it.
There are all talks at the moment. One says, give me FIFA presidency and I will divide FIFA. One will be for business, the other will be for competition. Now we hear of a regional World Cup. We're waiting to hear from Tokyo Sexually. What are his plans for
Jerome
FIFA?
Champagne.
Yeah, even Jerome Champagne. So everybody just waiting now to see what's going on. Yeah, I mean, let's move on to athletics now. This guy, Michael Johnson, says, we're laughing, we're playing with this thing going on in athletics, so it's deeper than what we're even seeing in football.
Well, we should be scared.
That's right.
Yeah, we should. If Michael Johnson, well-respected American athlete, I grew up watching this guy. He was phenomenal. And he's saying, look, there's a lot going wrong that you guys are not even aware of. Remember some of the things that Carl Lewis said, I think 2-3 years ago, even about Usain Bolt. Nothing is proven yet, but these guys, when they do come out like this, like we say, there's no smoke without fire. And he says, I mean, when I had to say, you know, the things that is, you know, stylishly supports what's happening in Russia, though he implied it, he didn't say it, but he